What's up guys, it's Regent, and today I'm going to be showing you the top 3 M4 setups for Season 5 of CoD Warzone. To begin, let's look at the no stock M4 setup I've made. We start off with Monolithic Suppressor. The Monolithic Suppressor increases sound suppression and damage range, and also has hidden bullet velocity buff, which can really help at longer ranges when you're trying to spray down targets or finish off targets that have already been hit by a sniper, as you will probably be doing with this particular setup for the M4. We then put on the stock M16 Grenadier barrel for increased damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. This barrel is probably the best M4 barrel for Warzone, and it's really effective in this particular setup because of its added recoil control. We then put on no stock. No stock increases movement speed and decreases ADS speed, making it a great attachment. Unfortunately, it did get heavily nerfed a few updates ago, and some of its cons include aiming stability and recoil control, which can really hurt the M4. Fortunately, there is a counter to these cons. This counter is the Ranger foregrip. The Ranger has better recoil control and aiming stability for the M4, and as a result, it directly counters the no stock's disadvantages. Overall, it's just a great underbarrel, and it's an underbarrel I will use in another one of the setups I'm going to be showing you. And finally, we put on 60 round mags on pretty much all AR setups just because we want as much ammo as possible. And honestly, there isn't much of an ADS speed and movement speed difference between the 50 round and 60 round mags. This brings us to the next setup we're going to be looking at. This is the VLK M4 or long range M4 setup. We once again put on Monolithic Suppressor for sound suppression, damage range, and that hidden bullet velocity buff. We then put on the stock M16 Grenadier barrel for damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, which really does make it the best M4 barrel for medium to long range engagements. We then put on Ranger foregrip for recoil control and aiming stability. You really want to be deleting as much of that vertical recoil of the M4 when you're going for a longer range M4 build, and it's exactly what the Ranger foregrip does. And then we put on 60 round mags because, as I've said before, you want as much ammo as possible because, especially in duos, trios, and quads, you're going to be fighting and finishing multiple opponents. Finally, we put on the VLK 3.0 optic. The VLK is a great optic, probably my favorite AR optic in the game currently because it's just super clean. It also has a magnification level which allows it to be used at pretty much all ranges. It even has a hidden vertical and horizontal recoil reduction, which helps you control recoil at all ranges with the M4, overall making the M4 even beamier than it already is. If for some reason you don't like the VLK though, you can always put on the Corp Combat Holo sight. This is a sight that many people, including streamers, have been enjoying on many weapons, including the M4, because I feel as though it's really clean, especially with the blue dot reticle you can unlock for it. Overall, this is a great sight as well, and you can try out both sights, the Holo and the VLK, to see which one you like better for your long-range M4 setup. This finally brings us to our final M4 setup. This is the Sniper M4. The Sniper M4 once again utilizes the Monolithic Suppressor and 60 round mags. The main difference really is the Corvus Custom Marksman barrel. This barrel also gives you better damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, similar to the stock M16 Grenadier. The difference is that this barrel gives you a bit more ADS speed and movement speed than the M16 Grenadier, with the drawback that it doesn't give you as much of damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. Overall, it's still a great barrel, and honestly, it's probably the superior barrel at closer ranges, making it great for an M4 setup that's paired with a sniper. You could even put this barrel on the previous no stock class that I talked about if you don't care as much about the recoil control of the no stock M4. We also use Commando foregrip just because it has no real ADS penalty. While I did say that the Ranger foregrip is a better underbarrel for recoil control, the Commando really is almost as good. It gives you recoil stabilization, which deletes horizontal recoil. Or I shouldn't say deletes, but reduces horizontal recoil. The Commando really helps you control the M4, where it just has a lot of vertical recoil, so you just pull down on your stick or mouse, and you pretty much have a very accurate weapon whose only con here is movement speed, because the Commando doesn't have an ADS speed penalty. This, of course, is once again making the M4 setup here really effective at closer ranges, because you are going to start competing with SMGs, and you need every advantage you can get against something like an MP7 or MP5, which will at times outclass you at point-blank range. We also put on stippled grip tape to be able to compete more at closer ranges. Stippled grip tape gives you better ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, which will help you draw your gun out and start shooting when you're sprinting, which you often do in close quarters scenarios. A alternative to stippled grip tape would be tack laser. Tack laser is a great attachment that gives you ADS speed, aiming stability, and aim walking steadiness. If you don't feel like you're someone who just goes sprinting headlong into fights, this might be the better attachment, because I believe it gives you even more ADS speed, and aiming stability and aim walking steadiness are both stats which can really help you. Its only con is that its laser is visible to enemies, making it really have no real cons, since you don't often see enemy lasers unless they're right in your face, which at that point you're visually seeing them anyways. Overall, this setup is really good when paired up with a sniper, as I've said before, and is also great as a Ghost M4 setup, which you might pick up in solos. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful in setting up your M4 classes for Season 5. If you did find this video helpful, make sure to drop a like and even consider subscribing. And if you didn't find it helpful, make sure to leave a dislike and comment below on how I could improve these setups or how I could improve the video. Well, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.